Yeah, buddy. What's going on, everybody? We're back. This is Vince Del Monte with another episode of Ask the Skinny Guy Savior. Your questions come in right off my Facebook fan page. I'm banging them out 60 seconds at a time, and I want to welcome you if this is your first time to the soon-to-be Gym Del Monte. This is right now we're in my basement, and very shortly this place is going to be fully equipped. We're going to be having Hypertrophy MAX boot camps here, 3-day camps, 5-day camps, 6-day camps. We're going to invite a small group of guys to come in here to Ancaster, Ontario. You guys are going to be able to get the Del Monte and Pakulski experience. We're going to train you one-on-one. These are definitely going to be for very serious individuals, but we've already got a waiting list of people that want to come in from literally all over America, from Switzerland, from the UK, from Australia. So we're very, very excited. More info on those camps coming, but anyways, I just have to plug that every single time we start this show because that's something something that's been in the works for the past 10 years. So obviously, my whole life has been revolved around eventually doing this, and it's starting to come to fruition, and it's because I've been focused on my goals. So there's a little lesson for you guys who have big goals in there, big ideas. It just starts off with getting focused on it and taking it one day at a time. So let's get into the questions here before I rant on a whole other topic. So for those new to the show, here's how the show works. Very simple. I answer your questions in 60 seconds or less. Sometimes I rant a little longer, but 60 seconds or less. The questions, where are you getting these questions, Vince? They're coming off my Facebook fan page at vincedelmontefanpage.com. These are your questions, and what I like to do is organize the questions into themes. So the themes we've got right now are on training splits, workout advice, program protocols. So we've got this is a pretty heavy topic, so it looks like we'll knock these out in a few episodes. And the first question goes to Edgar. Edgar says, "Hey Vince, what is your approach about repeating a program? For example, doing MI40 and then another program, and after that MI40 again." I would like that approach. I don't believe in doing the same program back to back because, as you guys know, your bodies are very, very adaptive organisms. And the longer you've been training, the faster you adapt to a certain program. So for those of you who've just gone through Ben Pakulski's MI40, which is a 40-day program, your body's going to get used to the specific intensity techniques and the tempos and the rest periods and the exercises that you just did for the 40 days. So you have to understand, a little saying you've probably heard other fitness pros use as well is that the best program is the one you haven't done. So the best program for you to do next is the one you haven't done. So yeah, I think it's better for you to switch to another program. MI40 works primarily on the training effect hypertrophy. So you may want to do a program that focuses more on functional hypertrophy, which would be more type 2B, type 2A fibers, and dropping the reps just a little bit, and working on your strength, and then come back to MI40. Good thinking there. You're on the right track, Edgar. Next question goes to Wali Awada. He says, "Hey, as an ectomorph, I thought that I should do full body workouts. However, my 2 trainers suggested that I do a 4-day split because I'm skinny. They're certified trainers, so do you think they are wrong? Thanks." All due respect to your trainers, I'm sure they have great intentions, and I'm sure that they would be able to explain the reasoning for why they would suggest that, but I disagree. I believe that any novice lifter, which is, in my definition, anyone with less than 1 year experience, they should start off with a full body workout. Now let me explain the logic. A full body workout is going to allow you to do less volume per exercise, but it'll allow you to do a higher intensity. The problem I have with split programs for beginners is that it sets you up to do a lot, but at a low intensity. And most novice lifters, first off, don't even have the work capacity to do a lot of volume that's required on a split program. And then the intensity of the workout is like 60 to 70% effort. So you're not even able to stimulate the type 2A, type 2B muscle fibers required to build muscle. So what I prefer, again, I'm going to keep the clock going here, I would prefer that you start off with low volume, high intensity and high density. So working essentially at a higher effort, but for less volume, and then stimulating those muscles more frequently. So like every 5 days or every 3 days. For beginners, that's far more effective for making gains. Okay, so I trust that makes sense. This is how, let's just say you came to me and you were my client and you put money down to train you for the next 5 years. Here's how it'd probably look. In probably the 6 to 12 months, we'd be doing primarily full body workouts. Then let's say the next year we progress into 2-day splits. Once you maximize the benefits of a 2-day split, we would move you to a 3-day split. Once you maximize the benefits of a 3-day split, we would move you to a 4-day split. Once you exploit the benefits of a 4-day split, then we'd move you to a 5-day split. So right there is just how we'd periodize your training frequency over a 5-year period. Guys that show up in the gym, you 16 and 20-year-old guys, and even mid-20 guys who've never trained before, you show up at the gym and you start doing a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day split, big mistake, especially if you haven't exploited the benefits of just a simple full body workout that teaches you how to train at a higher intensity. And then once you're able to train at a higher intensity, we only increase the volume if you can sustain it. So that's my logic behind the progression. That's why all my followers who pick up No Nonsense Muscle Building, for the first 6 to 12 months, we lay the foundation with a full body style workout. And we manipulate the reps and the sets and the exercises so you get a lot of stimulus and lay a rock solid foundation for the splits that have more volume, which I love. I've been training for 10 years, and if you look at my program right now, I'm on a 5-day split. Our Hypertrophy MAX members, who are guys who've been training for 4 to 5 years, the majority of programs are anywhere from 4-day to 5-day to 6-day splits. So there certainly is a time and place for split programs. I love split programs, but you need to graduate to them. You need to earn the right to do them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And as you guys probably know, a lot of the reasons people get into these split programs is because they read the muscle magazines, they read the websites, and virtually everything out there are split programs. And you look at your favorite champion bodybuilder and he's doing a split program. That guy's been training for 10, 15 years. He's got a base on you that you don't have. So you don't want to look like a champion bodybuilder doesn't necessarily mean you train like a champion bodybuilder. You have to progress into it. So I hope that makes sense. I think it makes a lot of sense to me and my clients. So that would be the approach I would suggest for you, Whaley. Next question goes to Armando Martinez. He says, thanks for all the knowledge, Vince. I'm sure soon you will hit your 1 million mark. So the 1 million mark that Armando's referring to is I have a personal goal to help 1 million people by the year 2020. And the way I measure that is by the amount of people on my newsletter list, the amount of people that enter my transformation contest, the amount of people on the fan page, the YouTube page. So when you subscribe to this page, you've kind of just told me, hey Vince, I'm interested in your work and I'm doing what you tell me to do. If you just drop in and watch my shows every once in a while, don't subscribe to the channel. I want people to subscribe to the channel who have trusted me to be their coach and to work with them. That way it gives me an indication of like, these numbers are legit. These are people who are actually taking my advice, and they're not like just kind of cherry picking things here and there they like, but they're following the advice in an organized system. And it tells me that I've been able to help you. And that's what Armando means when he says, I'm sure you'll achieve your 1 million person mark. We still have a long ways to go, by the way. So, that's my problem, and I'm going to continue doing what I need to do to help as many people to get to that mark. Okay, so my question is, how long should a workout session be? And how many muscle parts should be worked out for every session? Thanks, Vince. So Armando, in Live Large season 3, I did a whole 20 episodes, which came out to, close to like 10 hours of teaching on purely hypertrophy program design. And we went specifically into the science of how to answer these questions. So, you're asking what I did in, those 2 sessions alone were probably close to an hour. So, I'm going to post a link for you below if you're interested in really getting an in-depth response on this. Then I have created information for you to get that, but here's the basics of it. Training duration needs to be periodized. So let's look at a 12-week program. Here's how you could periodize duration using alternating periodization. You could do 3 weeks of 20-minute workouts, then you could do 3 weeks of 40-minute workouts, then you could do 3 weeks of 30-minute workouts, then you could do 3 weeks of 60-minute workouts. That's the kind of thought that I put into my programs when people pay me. When they say design me a program, that's how we manipulate certain variables. Now obviously, when the workouts are longer, we're gonna be able to do more volume. We may be able to do more exercises, so that's all going to come back to what's the ultimate end outcome we're trying to achieve. But that kind of gives you an idea of how to manipulate training duration. There's no right or wrong way. The idea is to use all the different durations available to us, because a different training duration is just going to set us up to be able to do maybe more work, more intensity, more density. So we just have to ask ourselves, what's the ultimate goal, and then how do we get there? And manipulating the training duration, you know, in phases is a really smart way of doing that. Most guys are thinking, what the frick? I just go to the gym and work out 40 to 60 minutes, and I've been doing that for years. And I ask you, how's that working out for you? For some of you, it's working out great. For some of you, you guys have never manipulated your training duration in your life. And it could be one factor that you just start to change. And when I say, when someone comes to me and says, Vince, I work out for 60 minutes at a time, I'm not making gains, and I say, I want you to work out for 20 minutes, I want you to do as much as you can, I want you to train as hard as you can, wear a stopwatch, when 20 minutes is up, get the heck out of the gym. They go to the gym and they're like, wow, I've never worked that hard in my life. I didn't know I was even capable of that. And that's because we just manipulated your training duration. You're now working against the clock with less time, so you have to raise your intensity. So by that one change alone, you get better gains, right? So, so I hope that starts getting you thinking differently about, you know, that's just an example of what's known as periodization. And if anybody out there is not using periodization, you're setting yourself up for really mediocre gains. I didn't say no gains, I said mediocre gains. Next question comes from Pove. He says, hey Vince, just want to know if you can do push and pull exercises together, as in same training day, or even in the same superset. For example, triceps bench press and triceps pull down. Okay, so I think he's got the names mixed up. I'm kind of confused here. So you say push and pull. Those aren't push and pull exercises. That would be 2 push exercises. A tricep pull down. You said tricep pull down. I don't know what a tricep pull down is. I think you mean a tricep, or do you mean, no, that wouldn't even make sense either. So a tricep push down would be a press exercise. Tricep bench press, which is a close grip bench press, those are 2 push exercises. So you're asking, can you do a push and a pull exercise together? I mean, you can do anything. That's the beauty about weight training, but you have to have a reason. So when I say you can do anything, what that means is there's no options that are right and wrong. You can superset the same body part. You can superset push pull. You can superset push pull. You can superset the same body part, as I just said. But it has to be based on a continuum. There needs to be some sort of reason for why you're doing this. Like, what are you progressing towards? You don't just do something to do something. That's called shotgun training. I like to take an approach, I like to use what's called rifle bullets. I like to take a more precise approach to every variable so that I actually accomplish things, I actually achieve things that set me up for the next phase. So, I'm a big believer in, supersetting pushing and pulling exercises for time efficiency. Let's just look at a 4-day split. 4-day split, you do 2 upper body days a week, 2 lower body days a week. On the upper body days, you can focus on pushing, pulling horizontally. And then on the other upper day, you can focus on pushing and pulling vertically. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to do that. Again, you have to look at the big picture though. You have to kind of step back and look at, well, where's this going? So the next question comes from Yusef Kapoor. Yusef wants to know, hey Vince, I know you say and preach that it's critical to follow just one coach, so would it be wrong to take the other bodybuilders' advice on some things in their articles or books? For example, there are some, John Romaniello, David Ruel, Ben Pakulski offer some programs or articles, would it be incorrect to follow some of their teachings when someone is committed to your program or teaching? Okay, no, it's not wrong. You know, if you come up to my office, you guys have been in my office before, you've seen my bookshelf. I have literally hundreds of books from business coaches, from fitness authors, doctors, researchers, all sorts of people, personal development coaches. But here's the thing. If you're gonna follow John Romaniello's intermittent fasting program, that's totally fine by me. It's got an excellent system for people that want to learn how to intermittent fast and achieve a specific goal. But don't say, hey Vince, what do you think of intermittent fasting? Well, who cares what I think? You're following John's program. He's created a system for you. Follow it, do it, see what you learn from it, keep what works, throw away that doesn't. So what I don't like is when people, you know, are following my hypertrophy-based program, but then they say, oh, but Vince, I'm gonna throw some intermittent fasting in there in the morning time just because I like it. Well, don't expect my workout program to work as effectively because it's not based on that plan. So everything you have to understand that the individual pieces are not as effective as the whole. So when you're looking at a program, it's been designed by somebody for a reason. Every variable was hopefully thought out, and they have you eating this way in conjunction with supplementing this way and training this way because they all synergistically works together, okay? Works like a team. And with the team, if all pieces are working effectively, you get a better result. But once you start, you know, pulling out certain pieces and, you know, putting in different pieces, you know, the team doesn't work as well together. You know, I'm gonna just keep this clock going. It's kind of like a basketball team. You could take a basketball team of 5 players that are all of average ability, but they're all synced to work together. They have experience with each other, that they could be a team with 5 better players, but who've never played together. Does that make sense? So when you start cherry picking like 5 different ideas and just kind of lump them into a program, it might not work because it's not synergistically working as a whole, as a system. So, you know, what people pay me to do is to organize the information into a system, into a step-by-step solution. So I'm not just picking, oh, that sounded really good, I'm gonna put that in my program. Ooh, I like that thing, that guy's got a cool technique, I'm gonna throw that one in my program too. Who's got something else cool out there? Oh yeah, I like that tip he gave. I'm gonna throw that in my program. Let's lump it all together. Here you go, try it out. How does it work? Oh, by the way, it costs this much money. That's not how it works. That's not what I do when I design programs. Everything is based on skillfully organizing the variables from phase to phase based on what you previously did, based on where we're ultimately trying to get. So yeah, you can read articles from other people, that's totally fine, but when it comes down to actually follow a system, you know, don't interchange 2 different 16-week programs, or at least don't expect to, you know, get my support when you start asking me how to intermingle them. Unless you've been training for 4+ years and you've got the knowledge to kind of make modifications on your own, that's another story. But, you know, if you're a beginner, you know, live your life, man. Just follow the program and don't overanalyze the details. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys are just kind of going against the purpose of like having someone design a program for you. Like the purpose of having someone design the program for you is to take the thought out of it. So you don't have to think, so you can just do it and see what happens and learn from doing. Some of you guys get so caught up in all the little details. It's like, live your life. Train hard, see what happens, track your results, scale it up, and then follow something else. But don't get so caught up in the minutia of these programs out there. Again, I'm going off on a tangent, but as you can tell, that insane rush is giving me a crazy rush here today on these questions. So I hope you got enough out of that response, Youssef. And we'll move on to another episode next time. Let's wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching. You guys know what to do if you enjoyed that episode. We'll see you guys soon.